Former NFL player believes Shadur Sanders galvanized Cleveland Browns rookies. Cleveland Browns rookie minicamp has wrapped, and former Colorado Buffaloes superstar Shadur Sanders has impressed not only on the field but also with the media and fans. Sanders has galvanized his rookie teammates, according to a prominent analyst. Cleveland Browns rookie minicamp has been completed, and former Colorado Buffaloes superstar Shadur Sanders has impressed not only on the field but also through his interactions with the media and fans. One of, if not the most, critiqued aspects of Shadur's pre-draft evaluations was how the media storm would affect an organization and how Sanders specifically would operate under that continuous spotlight. Albeit a small sample size, Sanders is proving to be able to handle himself one interview, press conference, community visit, and social media post at a time. National television host Emmanuel Acho, who is a former NFL player himself, took notice to that facet of Shadur's post-draft stint so far. As the field will always be the most important factor, the way Sanders is navigating what was seen as a negative coming in has been impressive. "I don't think I've been more fond of Shadur than I am right now," former NFL player and current Fox analyst Emmanuel Acho said. And not just what he said post-presser, but even on social media. "I'm scrolling social media late last night after watching the games. It was a picture of the whole rookie squad. I think the team is gathering around and galvanized by Shadur, especially the rookies." Another interesting topic broached by Acho was the fact that Shadur himself is customarily a somewhat reserved man. On the field, Sanders is as eclectic and competitive as they come. Off the field, he doesn't speak very often. Sanders has a podcast with relatively modest engagement and often appears on the well-off media vlogs via YouTube, but that's no different than any other player in modern athletics. Rarely is Sanders delivering a message that, if we're being honest, Shadur doesn't talk that much. It's the people around Shadur that do all the talking. Yeah, Shadur has held his wrist up, but I couldn't care less about that. It's a lot of people in the camp. But what I've heard about Shadur at this juncture in time, I'm loving what I'm seeing, Acho said to close the segment. While Shadur is just now beginning his journey in the National Football League, he's certainly making bright impressions that surpass all the pre- and post-draft narratives. Most people just wanted to see how he'd fare on his own accord away from Colorado coach Deion Sanders. For as great as that display and connection were, all good things must come to an end. Shadur's left the nest and appears to be flying just fine so far. The Browns are a little more than 2 weeks away from the first full team activities with both the rookies and vets combined. The true beginnings start then, but the test run before the lights get even brighter couldn't have gone much better for Shadur. Deion Sanders gets strong advice to fix loopholes while national analyst hints at ranking bias against Colorado. The offseason hasn't exactly been kind to Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes, but it hasn't buried them either. Despite losing their top-tier stars to the NFL and navigating a high-profile wave of roster turnover, Coach Prime's squad isn't tumbling may not be entirely worthy of striving into this fall as a top 25 team in all of college football, but their busy offseason hasn't sunk Coach Deion Sanders' squad to the bottom of the Big 12 Conference. There's still national attention. In ESPN's latest Big 12 power rankings, Colorado was slotted in at number 12 out of 16 teams. A surprising drop for a team that finished tied for first in conference play at 7-2 just a season ago. The dip is largely attributed to Colorado's high-profile losses. Shadur Sanders, two-way phenom Travis Hunter, and edge rusher B.J. Green II all heard their names called on NFL Draft Weekend. Fox Sports analyst R.J. Young didn't dispute the magnitude of the talent drain, but pointed out a glaring omission in the critics' evaluation. Colorado was also very good last year and tied atop in the Big 12 standings. 2 reasons as to why are gone: Shadur Sanders and Travis Hunter. We can have a different conversation about Shadur Sanders, but we will not argue that he did not throw for 4,000 yards, damn near 40 touchdowns, Young said. We also can have a different conversation about Travis Hunter and the Heisman Trophy winner. But the conversation I would like to have is they didn't have no run game, dog. They didn't have no run game. That wasn't just a stylistic problem, it was a tactical liability. Colorado was dead last in rushing offense in the nation last season. And yet, they still won 9 games. That's the piece RJ circled. Forget the pass protection. Forget that part. They were dead last in running the football last year, and they still won 9 games. What happens if they get even a small rushing attack? Young asked. What happens if Shadur Sanders' arm is not the only way for which you can move the ball, let alone score points? With Sanders now in the NFL, Colorado's reboot has focused on plugging those gaps with both staff and player upgrades. What you do if you're prime? You went and got Marshall Faulk, which immediately upgrades your running back credibility and your ability to recruit to the position. You changed your offensive line coach. You brought in Warren Sapp full-time, and oh yeah, you're the head coach. You are also a Pro Football Hall of Famer. So that's 3 Pro Football Hall of Famers on one staff, said Young. And it doesn't stop there. Byron Leftwich is expected to inject fresh wrinkles into Pat Shurmur's offensive playbook, and the quarterback room is suddenly more intriguing than it's been in years. Then you have the 5-star in Julian Lewis, along with the seasoned vet in Kaidon Salter. So either way, you got a big, wide, large ceiling for your quarterback play, Young added. Yeah, you're losing Travis Hunter, but they were pretty deep at receiver if you did not remember it. Not just last year, but this year they had guys getting drafted. That includes wideouts Jimmy Horn Jr. and LaJohntay Wester, both of whom joined Shadur and Hunter in hearing their names called on draft day. But beyond the departures, Colorado's portal activity has been decisive and aggressive. The Buffs added Salter from Liberty, Joseph Williams from Tulsa, and landed a monster up front in Alabama transfer defensive tackle G. Modis. Yet, the rankings still haven't reflected that level of retooling that ESPN's Eli Letterman chalked up the number 12 ranking to instability. This was always going to be a challenging offseason with 2 superstars and a bunch of seniors going pro, he noted. The Buffs did lose 8 players, who earned starts last season, to the portal, and Sanders had to make new hires to replace 4 assistant coaches. That turnover rate is steep, even by portal-era standards. But Colorado also returns a decent chunk of talent and enters 2025 with 2 high-upside options at QB, a revamped coaching brain trust, and a clear roadmap for rebuilding its run game. Deion Sanders lands a big-time bodyguard for Buffs QB1. In a major win for Colorado's offensive line, and for Coach Prime's mission to flip the Buffs into a Big 12 force. Deion Sanders just reeled in a certified trench warrior. Former Maryland OT Andre Roy Jr. is officially heading to Boulder, per on 3 Sports, giving the Buffs a much-needed dose of size, skill, and experience up front. Standing 6'6" and tipping the scales at 295 pounds, Roy isn't just big, he's battle-tested. He started 7 games for the Terrapins last season and held his ground like a pro, allowing just 1 sack over 434 snaps. That's no small feat in the bruising Big Ten, where defensive linemen are basically future NFL draft picks in waiting. That a former 3-star recruit out of powerhouse St. Francis Academy in Baltimore, Roy was a top 50 offensive tackle nationally and ranked number 11 overall in Maryland's 2022 class. Now, he's bringing that pedigree and poise to a Colorado team that gave up a whopping 43 sacks last season. This isn't just a depth move. It's a protection plan. Roy's arrival gives Colorado a legit anchor on the O-line and might just help silence those doubting Colorado's top 10 Big 12 potential.